Dr. Ayanna Brooks had barely fastened her first-class seatbelt when a man stood over her with an entitled scowl. "Excuse me," he snapped. "You're in that seat? My daughter should sit here. Can you move to the back?" The father's words echoed down the aisle as heads turned. Ayanna calmly looked up, her PhD credentials embossed on her Louis Vuitton laptop bag, but the flight attendant stepped in before she could respond. What came next left the arrogant man and half the plane speechless. No one expected the woman he tried to belittle to be more potent than anyone on board. Ayanna wasn't new to being judged. As a black woman and a respected pediatric neurosurgeon, she'd faced more stares in elite spaces than she could count. But this was just a flight from Chicago to Boston, a routine trip to speak at a prestigious medical conference. She had earned her ticket just like anyone else in first class. Wait a second and tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. She boarded quietly, nodded at a few passengers, and took her window seat with her journal and wireless earbuds in hand. That was when he appeared. A tall, middle-aged white man in a pressed blazer, gripping his daughter's hand with one hand and his boarding pass in the other. Without so much a polite greeting, he pointed at Ayanna and said, "Ma'am, my daughter gets really anxious flying. This seat is better for her. You wouldn't mind moving to the back, would you?" Ayanna was stunned. Not because of the request. Passengers sometimes ask for seat swaps, but because of the tone, the assumption that her presence there was a mistake that needed correcting. She looked at the girl, who seemed nervous but didn't speak. Then she calmly replied, "I'm sorry, but I prefer to stay in the seat I paid for." The man's demeanor shifted from condescending to confrontational. "You people are always so difficult," he muttered under his breath. Not quietly enough. That was when the nearby passengers started paying attention. A flight attendant, a young blonde woman named Riley, stepped in. "Is there a problem here?" "Yes," the father said indignantly. "This woman is refusing to let my daughter have her seat. I'm sure we can find her somewhere in the back." Ayanna remained calm, but her heart was pounding. Riley blinked and glanced at Ayanna's and the man's boarding passes. "Sir, Dr. Brooks is in her assigned seat," she said. "Doctor?" he scoffed. "Are you serious?" Riley straightened, her voice sharper now. "Yes, Dr. Ayanna Brooks, one of the leading pediatric neurosurgeons in the country, and she's our platinum guest today. She will remain exactly where she is." The man's face paled. "Now," Riley continued, "you're the one creating a disturbance. You may switch with someone willing in economy, or you and your daughter can remain in your assigned seats." Passengers around them began murmuring support. A man 2 rows back leaned forward and offered, "They can have my seats if it means they—" "Stop harassing her!" The dad looked like he wanted to argue but was defeated. He mumbled something unintelligible and shuffled back with his daughter. Ayanna kept her composure, but her hands shook slightly. Not from fear, but from holding back tears. Not because she was insulted, but because someone finally stood up with her. After the plane reached cruising altitude, Riley quietly returned with a warm smile and a complimentary glass of champagne. "I just wanted to say thank you for staying calm. I've seen things like this happen too often, and people like you inspire change just by being present." Ayanna nodded, deeply moved. "Thank you for how you handled it. That kind of grace, it matters more than you know." Later that evening, a video of the encounter, posted discreetly by another passenger, went viral. Comments poured in praising Ayanna's grace and Riley's professionalism. People began sharing their own stories of bias and quiet bravery. The man, who once felt entitled enough to displace someone because of the color of her skin, had now become a national lesson in prejudice. And Ayanna, who had only wanted to make it to her medical conference, had unintentionally ignited a wave of discussions about race, respect, and professionalism. Sometimes the most significant shifts come from minor acts. Saying no, standing firm, or refusing to be invisible. Ayanna didn't need to prove her worth that day, but the world got a glimpse of it anyway, and it changed more than just the tone of a flight. It changed hearts, one seat at a time. If you enjoyed this story and thought it provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Take care.